Hey, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate you stopping by to take a minute and listen to what I have to say. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that I call chasing shadows. It's compiling several ideas into one about things that we do in life that cause us some pain and some suffering. Uh, as you get through it, I promise you towards the end, I'll take a minute to try to tell you how you might be able to find a way out of doing this. So, one of the things that I see happening a lot of times is people getting angry and also people having this idea of mine or wanting more or possessing things and items. And they tend to go together in some situations very closely. Uh, Part of the thing in this society, we're being taught these days that having more is better, acquiring more is better. Most of the advertising that you see on TV steers you towards if you get these things, getting more things, getting what belongs to you, what you think belongs to you, acquiring more stuff will make you happy. And then when you find out that this is a falsehood, you tend to get angry. And instead of going to the source of where you created your own unhappiness, if you will, and actually starting to question what's going on, then you find you have to have a scapegoat. You have to have someone to be angry at because you're not happy, because obviously you should be happy because you acquired this thing. So you end up chasing shadows, and some people chase shadows their whole life. So how does all this play together? A lot of times, if you see on TV, somebody will give you this commercial that if you have this car, this item, this thing, that it will make you happy. And you start to hunger for it, literally just thirsting for this item, just, a burning desire to have it. Because in your mind, you think that acquiring this item will get you happiness because you see, according to the advertisement or according to what people have told you, that this item is what brings you happiness instead of understanding, the basic idea of happiness. It either is or it isn't. It has nothing to do with acquiring things. True, it is possible that if you don't have enough things, life can be so uncomfortable that it is hard to get through. If you don't have a place to sleep, if you don't have food to eat, if you don't have clothes to wear, there are things like that are the basics of getting by in life that you need. And after that, it becomes a case of acquiring. Now, I'm not saying you can't enjoy these things. If you're fortunate enough to have some nice things, then by all means, hey, great, enjoy it. Greed comes to where you want more than you need or you deserve. And the idea is that you work for these things that you need, and generally more by virtue of your work you've agreed upon some pay, and that you're entitled to. Where the thing comes in is in order to entice you to work harder or to get you faster or doing more things, you have to be sort of led along like a donkey with a carrot hanging in front of it. So to do that, we have to show you some item that somebody popular has, somebody that you think is happy, and then you want to model their lifestyle. You want to be like them because you think those people are the happy people. What you don't usually realize is those people are not the happy people. They're busy trying to get you to buy things because they're acquiring more money, because in their mind they have something even higher up the chain that they think if they acquire that, then they will be happy, and so on and so on. So as you see this ripple effect of constantly leading you into more and more desire. Sometimes we do it ourselves. We see people who, we covet those things that we see. And if somebody else has a new item, a new car, fancy clothes, we again envision that we think that will make us happy. And a lot of times we get caught up in the idea of, what we think we deserve, and we may or may not actually deserve it, or even what we think we need, and we don't really need it, but we've convinced ourselves that we need it. So we end up leading ourselves into a lot of suffering and a lot of pain. Then you couple that fact with people get angry when they feel pain and they want to lash out. It's kind of like a tiger that's been hurt and cornered. It will lash out in all directions because it doesn't realize why it's suffering. It just knows it's suffering and it lashes out. People become the same way in the sense that when they don't achieve those things, they don't achieve the happiness they want, then they become angry and sullen. And with that anger, again, you have more of a problem because now you're going to do things that actually in the end are detrimental to you. Part of this came into play when I was talking to somebody who was convinced that another person had something that they felt was theirs and they deserved it. They had convinced themselves that one, they really did deserve this item and the other person didn't. So they were angry at them for having their property. Then second part of it was is they in their mind had worked up that if I get this thing back, this thing will make me so happy. I will be so happy. I will have this item I want and life will be great, which is a bunch of BS because you and me both know as soon as someone acquires a new item, they immediately want another item. You don't believe me? Watch a kid who desperately thinks they want some toy in a toy store and they're convinced that if they have this toy, it'll be the greatest thing ever. And they get it home and they have the new toy. And the minute they see one of their friends playing with the newest version of the toy or a better something than this toy, they immediately just drop that toy and then start reaching for the other kid's toy. And we kind of never quit doing that in life. And then we get angry when we think we've been wronged. And there's this complicated circle where we convince ourselves we've been wronged after we convince ourselves that we deserve this. And then even the idea that we deserve it, we've had to build on other things, and we sort of make a false narrative in order to find a way to justify. Again, we come up with one of my many rules about people don't actually take all of the information or evidence and take a look at it and make a decision. Instead, they make a decision, then they find ways and means to justify their decision. They ignore the stuff that doesn't agree with them. They focus in on the stuff that does. And sometimes they even are willing to make up a totally false narrative in order to create a reason why they deserve this item. So then that leads to anger. And in the anger, they strike out at other people. And when you strike out at other people, you actually create future pain. Now, whether you want to go down the route of karma and believe that your actions create some ripple effect that comes back to you, or you want to just stick with the idea that if you piss enough people off, those people are going to want revenge on you. And people never see it as, oh, you did exactly this amount of wrong to me. And to get back to you, I have to do the same amount of wrong. Because the way they see it is it's this amount, not this, because they're in pain and they're hurting. So then they want to get you back to this level. And then you get mad and say, well, wait a minute, I only got you at this level. You went further. Now I owe you. And now the Hatfields and McCoys again, you're feuding for 100 years. You're never going to agree on what's equal because one person's pain is not equal to another person's pain. And so here we have this problem again of, bouncing back and forth between being angry, being mean, people getting mad at us, being angry, being mean to us, and we keep rotating it round and round. So how do you get out of this horrible loop of greed and anger and false ideas? Well, we're back to questioning again. I encourage everybody to question what you hear. Question what you hear from me. Don't accept it as a fact. Question it for yourself, think about it, go through and go, does this apply to me? Is this possible? Will this make a difference? And how do I understand this? Do these things have relevance to me? And if they do, then by all means, use them, think about them in order to get better. How do you do that? Well, first, again, back to the old, calming skills and cognitive skills. Calming yourself down enough so that you can rationally think through things. And again, starting to question. I mean, ask yourself seriously, the people that are on TV, are they there for your benefit or are they there for their benefit? And if they're there for their benefit, they're trying to sell you something, convince you to do something they want, get you to agree with them or see things their way. So they're going to pull out every trick in the book to try to get you to come over to their side and either buy their product, agree with them, or do whatever it is they want you to do. And it isn't just TV, but look at the people around you. People around you want you to act like them. They want you to do what they do. They want you to agree with them. A lot of times we get under that false belief idea that, if enough people agree with us, it must be true, which again, I call BS on. Tons of people can believe something that does not make it true. You have to go through and question it. So again, if this person, though, under this false idea that if enough people agree with me, if I can convince you that having a new car is the road to happiness and everybody that has new cars are cool, or that every guy that has the new car has all of the women, which women probably know better, um, or this new dress or this new purse will make you this thing that you aren't. The way that they try to do that is, oh, I got it, you should get it, and they talk it up. And they live what I call the social media lie, which is, again, you look at social media and a lot of times people take these pictures and everyone's smiling and everyone's happy. And everybody sees all of these happy people thinking, well, gee, they're all happy. Why ain't I happy? Yeah, maybe some of them are happy. But do you really believe that they're always happy all the time and the camera's there? No, they don't take pictures of the rough times. They don't take pictures of the bad stuff. They literally take pictures and everybody smiles and does the camera thing, and then right after the camera shots, everybody starts grumbling and goes about their way. It's it's this idea though that they want to convince everyone that they're happy, and then you get convinced and you want to be like them, and see, we're back down that road again. Pulling out from it is literally withdrawing from this drama, withdrawing from this idea that you have to be like others, that others have all of the keys to life and success. You can find lots of answers in lots of people, but I ask you, does any person have all the answers? And I'll be the first to raise my hand and say, man, I screw up a lot on stuff. And I'm willing to try to go through and find this out and admit it. I'm willing to actually go and go, wow, I was wrong. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people will never admit they're wrong or there's a problem. And I'm not knocking them for it. It's their way of choosing to live. Will it bring them happiness? I don't think so. Um, if they're really trying to be happy, then they're going to ask themselves, why do they need more to be happy? Why do they need you to agree with them to be happy? You can argue up and down with a tree, but the tree is still a tree, no matter what you tell it it is, and no matter what you call it. A tree is a tree is a tree. For some reason, though, we think if we get enough people to agree that no, it's not a tree, it's actually a whatever, it's a shrub or a bush. Okay, that was a fun argument. Why and what was the purpose and what did you gain? That's the thing to think about when you're going through. If you actually get the item you want, will you be happy? And a lot of times you've got this false belief going on because you don't want to face the reality that you don't have the item. Your being unhappy doesn't really have anything to do with you not having the stuff. It has to do with the fact that you have somewhere in your mind decided that this is my choice. This is what I want to be. At any moment in time, you can choose different things, even to the point of where I can say you can choose to be happy. You may not be thrilled with some of the things that are going on in your life, but if you focus on those, that's what's getting you angry. Being able to divert your attention and focus on something different is a way to get yourself off of that track, questioning whether this is really going to make you happy. The simplest things in life really do make you happy. Family, friends, conversation, um, being able to relax and enjoy things in general, whatever it is you have. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with enjoying what you have. The problem arises when you desire what you don't have, or you covet what you have to the point of where you can't spend time enjoying it. It's that old story of You acquire an item that you've wanted and you're like, oh, this is it. This is the greatest thing. Then you immediately convince yourself that everybody else wants it and everyone else is going to try to take it from you. So now you have to spend all your time keeping this item guarded safely so that nobody takes it from you. And then you don't have time to enjoy it because, my goodness, if you took it out and enjoyed it, you might tear it up. It might get old and used. Someone might see it, might steal it. So we're going to hide it. We're going to tuck it away deep down in the closet, buried under some blankets, so that nobody can ever find it. And oh my gosh, you went to all that trouble to get something that you won't even use. What a waste. You fell back into that. More than you can use, more than you can deserve. And there are limits to both of those. Figuring out what it is that's holding you back is a matter of sitting down and honestly thinking. And there's where the key is. Most people do not want to sit and reflect and think. It's much easier to blame somebody or something else for their position or their feelings or their things in life, their what's going on. And it's n- really hard to take responsibility and go, wow, it's my decision that led me to this point, and it's going to have to be my decisions that get me out. Because even if somebody else comes and rescues me and pulls me out and gives me this item, then I may realize, well, it wasn't the item at all. I was all tickled about trying to get the item. It was all about the chase. It wasn't about acquiring the item. So, again, take the time to pull back and ask questions. Why are these people trying to convince me of this? What is it they're getting out of it? If I've had it in the past, was I really happy? And if I was really happy, then why am I unhappy now? Everything comes and goes in life. Once you start to grasp that concept, you realize that things that you have now, you eventually won't have. They will tear up, break, disintegrate, rot, rust, go away. So pull back from life for a minute. Think about things before you go off chasing stuff. And before you get angry at other people because they have more than you, or you feel that you deserve it better than them, or all these other thoughts. In the end, if you want to be happy, then seek happiness. Don't seek things. Okay? Learn how to be and do in life, not so much about what you have or what you can take from others. Okay? So I hope you grasp the concept. I will try to go more into it in later videos about actually going through and doing a meditation, if you will, to help you sit, relax, meditate, and think through this whole process about what you're doing, what it is you're trying to achieve. Okay? So y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you next time. Y'all take care.